Hello, good day, doctor. My name is Chong Fatt. Now I'm going to discuss about my assignment, which is to plan the creative art activity for the preschool 5 years old children. So before I start explaining my assignment, let me introduce about my topic. As we know, every early childhood educator need to understand the development and the learning of the young children in order to plan a suitable curriculum and the learning experience for them. So in order to understand the development of children, we can break down the development of children into 5 main areas that are the physical, social, emotional, language literacy, and cognitive. So the learning of the children usually occur through the active interactions between the young children and their environments. So it is very important for the preschool teacher to prepare a stimulating and fun learning environment for them. So there are many theories regarding the learning and the development of the young children, such as the Montessori theory and the Piaget theory, as well as the Vygotsky theory. So all these theories focus on 3 things that are the children learn best through doing and playing, and the second one is children learn through the experience they gain from the surrounding, and the third one will be the children learn through the interactions with others. So based on the learning theory and the development theory that I have mentioned just now, we can see that most of the preschool curriculum nowadays are based on the principle of constructivism, whereby it is more focused on the children-centered learning approach and the active learning discovery approach. This means that children will become the active learner and they are going to explore their knowledge by themselves, and the teachers usually play the role as the facilitator, which will guide them in their learning. So the art activity has become part of the children's curriculum, and which primarily aim to strengthen the fine motor skill of the children, help them to express their idea and feelings, and let them to learn to communicate with others, as well as instilling their creativity. So an art activity that is planned and designed for the 5 years old children in this assignment will be focused on the Joint Kids International Preschool, which is one of the famous preschool in Malaysia, and the activity that I propose is creative mask making. And in order to make sure that all the learning experience and the activities in the preschool can be carried out smoothly, human resource policy and the practice in the early childhood center is very important and play the important role in this situation. So this slide will roughly tell you what is the activity that I'm going to plan for the preschool 5 years old children, which is the creative mask making. And the theme that I given to them is the animal that you like the most, or the one which can represent your character. Now we are going to talk about the objective of this art activity. When we talk about the art activity, this is not just focused on the creativity of the students. So the art activity can actually help the children to develop in different areas. For example, the objective of this activity in the physical development of the children is to develop the fine motor skill, to develop the better control in handling the tools and materials such as the scissors, and also help them to develop the better eye and hand coordinations, for example during cutting process. And in terms of the cognitive development, art activity is very important to develop their understanding toward the some mathematical concept like the shape and size. And also the art activity can help them to develop a critical thinking skill and problem solving skill, like what to create. They can ask the questions and what color to use. This is a way to instill their questioning skill. And another objective will be the social emotional development of the children. Art activity is going to let them learn how to work independently and cooperate with others, learn to share with others, especially like the materials and the tools, and also learn to express the ideas and feelings, since some of the students they are not well in expressing their idea using words. And another development which can be achieved with this art activity will be the language skill. So this activity will going to build and strengthen their language skill when they are asked to present their artwork, and learn to listen and follow instruction to improve their vocabulary by asking questions which is related to their artwork. What are the materials needed for this creative mask making activity? So the materials include the pencil, eraser, washable pens, the pen brushes, glue stick, scissors, white manila card so that the children can put whatever the color they want, and A4 papers, hole puncher, string, and box cutter. And we also need to provide the paper plates so that paper plate it won't easily break as compared to the manila card. So after they do the mask on the manila card, they cut out, they can paste it on the paper plate so that they can put on the string on the paper plate to put on their face. So this is why I provide the paper plate in this activity. Next, how we are going to carry out this activity. So the activity procedure include the first step. Teachers need to prepare the set of materials and tools needed for the art activity on a few round tables so that they can share. And then the teachers need to divide the children into the group of 3 to 4 persons so that they can sit together and share the materials and tools. Next, teacher need to introduce the art activity to the children, including the themes of the mask making activity. For example, the animals that they like the most. Teachers can provide some example to them, and teacher need to show a video on how to make a simple animal mask using the paper plate so that the children have some ideas to do the art activity. And teacher can demonstrate the step on how to create the mask and remind the children to handle the scissors with care because it might cause injury to others. And then the children are then given the plenty of time to prepare to create their own animal mask, and then the teachers need to keep track on the children and assist them if needed. And after the children have done with their animal mask, they will be asked to present their artwork in front of the classroom. During the presentation, the teacher might help them by asking questions so that the children will learn to answer the questions given by the teacher. When we carry out the creative mask making activity with the student, there are many outcomes which we can observe by the from the student. So the first one is the physical development. So the opening and the closing motions of the cutting using scissors can help the children to develop the small muscle or the fine motor skill. And the small muscle are very important for the better proper pencil grip. And the children can also develop a better hand and eye coordination. For example, they cut the papers using one hand while tracking the movement of the scissors with their eye. And then another one is the children show the bilateral coordination whereby the both sides of their body carry out the different tasks. For example, the left side of the hand are going to hold the paper, and the right side of the hand are going to cut the paper, and the eye will focus on the line of the scissors going through. And another one is in terms of the cognitive development. So the development of the simple mathematical concepts such as the comparing the size, make sure that the two circles for the eye holes on the animal mask are the same size. So this can actually shown by the children during the art activity. And the children will also develop the thinking skill. For example, when they want to decide the color of the animal they make, they will think of the previous experience. For example, what is the color of the animal that they see before? And then another one is teacher can also ask the children about the characteristics of the animal they choose so that the student can process some critical thinking skill. And the children will also learn to ask questions using words. In terms of the social and emotional development, during this activity, the divisions of the children into groups during the art activity actually allowed them to learn to share with others. And also they need to have a cooperative learning which can develop among the young children as they help each other. For example, when one children facing the problems in drawing, another friends might help them. So this is to create a collaborations between the young children and create active interactions between them. And then we can say that the art activity can also strengthen the peer relationship and make the children feel happier and more comfortable with the environment. And this activity also allowed them to express their feeling verbally. And last one will be the language skill development. Through this art activity, the children are able to listen and follow the instruction given by the teacher, and the children can also improve their language skill by learning to express their ideas in word, describe, with the guidance of the teacher, and the children will be introduced naturally to some of the language concepts like the preposition, comparative, and opposite. For example, the teacher can tell them, please put the scissors nicely. This is the way the student learn naturally. Okay, what is the teacher's role in facilitating the creative art activities in school? So, as a preschool teacher, we should give enough time for the children to develop their ideas, and we have to respect their idea. When the children tell the teachers about their idea, the teachers should give the encouragement to them instead of denying their idea. For example, if the one child tell the teacher that he want to create an elephant mask, the teacher should not discourage them by saying that the animal mask is very difficult for them. Instead, the teacher should help them throughout the thinking process, how they are going to make it. And then the teacher should also help the children in the thinking process instead of take over or tell them what to do. Because if you tell them what to do, they will feel that they are actually utilizing the others people's idea, and in the end they will feel less confident in expressing their idea. And then as a teacher, we should give the chances for the children to make the decision so that they can build up their confidence in expressing and sharing the idea with others. What is the relationship between the creative art, preschool children, human resource policy, and the practice of the early childhood center? So first, I'm going to discuss about the relationship between the creative art and the preschool children. Creative art plays an important role to encourage the holistic and the healthy development of the preschool children, as what you can see from the learning objective or the learning outcomes of this art activity. So the development of the creativity enable the children to communicate and express themselves, explore the idea individually without any restriction, and strengthen their fine motor skill. All these are the examples of the advantage of the creative art activities for the young children. The strong relationship with the development of the preschool children's creative potential. For example, it can learn the usage of the different materials and technique during the art activities. And all these skills might help the preschool children to develop a better visual spatial intelligence. For example, they can perceive the things in surrounding them easily and then transform them into a representative. And they use the representative to come out with a artwork. So, and then the art activity can also instill the strong imagination among the young children and their aesthetic perceptions. So in order to make sure that the creative activities can be carried out smoothly, human resource policy and practice of the early childhood center is very important. Creative art has been part of the learning experience to help the preschool children to achieve the curriculum goals. Like for example, in the Joy Kid International School, their aim is to make a early learning experience enjoyable for the children. So the human resource policy and the practice of the early childhood education center are important to ensure the success of the curriculum goal. For example, the recruitment and the employment policy. So the preschool have to make sure that the qualified educators with the related academic qualifications and experience is being recruited, so that this teacher with the related academy, they can have a better control over the curriculum, and they can plan the activity which can really help the children. And then the job role and the responsibility is also another important practice of the early childhood center, whereby all the teachers and the teaching assistant need to understand the job scope and what they are going to do and what should not be done. And then another one is job training. So for example, in Joy Kid International Preschool, they are actually incorporate the Montessori curriculum. So maybe some of the early child educators are not get used to this type of curriculum, so therefore the jobs training is very important to them to get used with this kind of curriculum. And the last one is the code of conduct. For example, the teacher need to understand that it is a responsibility for them to create and maintain a healthy and safe environment for the children to learn, such as the usage of the scissors during the creative art session. The teachers need to keep on remind the children to handle the tools carefully. These are all for me for my assignment. Thank you very much for listening to me. Bye bye.